Welcome to Women Incorporated Day 4. Today we are going to be talking about marketing, advertising, and selling when you're building your $1 million brand. This is a 5-day masterclass. We're on day 4 of the masterclass. If you haven't officially registered for it, you definitely want to do that because day 1, 2, and 3 were fantastic. The feedback I got from yesterday, day 3, was bananas, like extraordinary feedback from yesterday. So if you have not watched day 3 yet, you absolutely want to do that. The quickest way to get the link is actually to just, in the comment section here, ask for the link to the full masterclass, and my team will share it with you. And then you'll be able to sign up and get day 1, day 2, day 3, because they're fantastic, and you'll get the information for when and where day 5 is going to be tomorrow. So if you have been following along on the journey, if you have been here for day 1, day 2, or day 3, let me know. Let's see who's on here today. Heather, so good to see you. Elodie. Verlaine was our winner of yesterday's draw. Congratulations. Hello. I'm happy you're here. Tammy, hello. And Kristen Kucha. Hey, you, hello. All the people in the house. Jamie is here. Marie-Ève is here. Thank you so much, Verlaine. I appreciate that. Good morning. Hello, Rachel, Laura, Jennifer, Marley C. Hello, Leah, Shannon, Jennifer, Nikki, Michelle. Hello, Melanie. Oh my God, yesterday was incredible. I'm so happy. So you guys, we are going to kick off today with a draw. As soon as you're established and you're in, if you want to share this live stream, or if you want to share your graphic for module 4, so currently watching day 4, if you share that and you tag the team, if you share this live stream, you'll be entered into the draw today. We'll be drawing someone here in just a few moments, and then there'll also be a draw at the end of the call. Bonjour, thank you so much for sharing. Paige says, good morning. Day 3 was so helpful and resonates so much. Moving forward for me, this is so good. Annalie, Jody, hello. Danielle, so good to see you. So many new people on here today that I'm seeing also. Hello, Tina, Sophia. Hello, good morning. Michaela, hello. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. You manifested it. I love that. Hello, I just finished watching the replay of day 3 and I had some incredible insights. This is fantastic. All right. Well, I'm excited that you're here, Rachel. Hello, Nikki. Hello, everyone. So how this works, this is a masterclass that I'm offering for 2 reasons, and I'd like to explain this a few times. So the first reason that I've created this masterclass is because, as we've been talking about in here, different people are willing to test things out in life as long as there's no resistance. And one of the biggest resistances in life is money. And so I wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity for people out there to hear me without the money resistance. And then once they're in and they listen, they can decide whether or not they're able to move forward into something else without the fear or the resistance of money. But at least to have an opportunity to hear me and to meet me without money resistance. That's the first reason. The second thing is that I'm speaking to my ideal clients. I've got big things, big plans this year. We are doing extraordinary things, and I want to help women build out of this world businesses. I have a big mission. I want to see big money in the hands of women. I want to see thriving companies, leaders, women who have big power and influence and leadership and successful big businesses that they're proud of. And I want to help you build that. And I want to help you become the woman it takes to build and sustain that over time. This is not just about how to make quick cash. This is not just about how to sell a bunch. It's about your business being something that you're really proud of, that people rave about, that you just cannot believe you've built this, like a extraordinary business. And so this is my purpose here with this masterclass, is also to speak to my people and find my next clients as I speak into this. So while you're watching, if it feels like someone needs to hear this, if you feel like I'm nailing it and you're like, okay, I can really tell someone could benefit from this, please share, and make sure you let us know in the comment section that you did share. That way my team can grab your name, put it in the draw, and you can be entered in the draw. So today we are actually going to be drawing someone who is going to win. Where are we at, Kevin, for this one? Is it So the first one this morning, the draw will be $4,444 in Alpha Femme money, which you will be able to use towards any program or masterclass or towards the Alpha Femme experience or House of Oat. So I think we're getting ready here to draw our first one. Kevin, what's our status?
I'm prepared.
You're prepared. Okay. So we're going to do one draw now and one draw at the end of the call. So if you share during the call, the team will also put your name in the draw. All right. Our first winner of the morning.
Are there any drum rolls?
Oh, we need drum rolls. Kevin wants drum rolls. Give me your best drum roll. All right.
Okay, and the winner is Cynthia Soszka.
Cynthia Soszka. Cynthia Soszka, you are the winner of $4,444 in Alpha Bucks. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. I am so grateful. And now let's get cracking with this module. And by the end of the call, someone else will also manifest. A different price point. Okay, I had resistance making videos and posting them on Instagram because my English is not perfect. But after your live, I did some videos and I started posting. Hey, this is brilliant. Sophia, congratulations. Okay, so let's talk about marketing and advertising and selling. So the first thing I want to talk about in today's module is how there are so many different approaches to marketing, advertising, and selling. It is not true that there's only just one way that it works. It's not true that everyone's wrong except for one person. It's not true that there's only just one way. And I think that it has been one of the most liberating things in my journey, is realizing that all of the pressure when people say like, this is the way, and if you don't do it like this, you're gonna fail, or this is the secret thing that if you don't do this, it's the only thing you could do, it's gonna fail. Like, that wasn't true for me. And I worried because when people told me this was the only way, it brought up some very similar stuff to me in the past where people said, you have to have this done by this age or else you failed, or you have to have succeeded this, or you have to have this, or you have to succeed, you have to get a solid education, you've got to do this or else you'll never get a job, you need to marry a rich man or else you'll never have a good future. Like, there was so many you have to do this or else you won't this in my life that I just was not willing to take one more. I just was not willing to have one more person tell me that if I didn't do it their way, I was going to fail. It was just not available for it. So I went on a quest to look for all kinds of different ways. And I was inspired by Thomas Edison's quotes where apparently it's over 3,000 attempts is what it took to create the light bulb. And when asked, how did you manage to try 3,000 times, to fail 3,000 times? Apparently, he said, I didn't fail 3,000 times. I just found 3,000 ways not to make a light bulb work. And I was like, that is the kind of stamina, that is the kind of no matter whatness that I want. I do not want someone to tell me this is the one way you do it and everything else will fail. I don't want that. I want to go and I want to go find my way. And I want to believe that there's actually multiple ways. And so I have loved my journey in marketing and advertising because I've built all kinds of different fun, creative marketing campaigns. I've seen marketing like a work of art as well. I've compared marketing in my own body, in my own experience, to like a rock star filling a rock concert. There are artists nowadays that literally break Ticketmaster because people just need to buy the ticket now. You look at someone like Taylor Swift, who at some point had a trending hashtag, I hate Taylor Swift, being the #1 trending hashtag in the world, simultaneously selling out concerts so fast that it broke Ticketmaster. So this is how you don't need the whole world to love you. But if you know how to market to your ideal buyer, like what we were talking about yesterday, your person with no resistance, you're gonna break Ticketmaster. And I don't know about you, but I didn't see an infomercial for Taylor Swift tickets on TV or on the radio. It was just like the people who knew new and they filled the stadium. And the people who hated it with all of their hearts, but they still couldn't stop it from happening. So I love this approach and I love this way of looking at things because it stops being about how many people can you convince, how many people need to see your thing for someone to say yes. It stops being about numbers. It stops being about pushing or coaxing. And instead it starts being about getting the people who just absolutely want what you're selling to show up with bells on to buy it. Even when we look at companies like Apple, who maybe will have an ad of their new phone coming out, but it's more company culture. People know around the month of September, there will be a new Apple, iPhone 25.0 coming out. Like every year around the month of September, maybe time to upgrade your iPhone. There's not constant ads running all over the place. And even when there are ads running, it's more like a phone turning in slow motion and people happy to be using a phone. Like it isn't, if you don't have this phone, you're not cool and you're going to fail and your life's over. There's a kind of marketing that markets to your buyer that really is much more effortless, but also engages your creativity, your pleasure, your leadership. And it becomes so much more about the people who want this than trying to convince the people who don't. Like, there's no point trying to convince a person who's obsessed with Android to buy an iPhone. But the people with iPhones buy new iPhones every time there's a new iPhone. So if you create an extraordinary product, if you have a brand that stands for something, if you have amazing customer service, if you have something that people can rely on, and your marketing and your advertising is creative and really aligned to the people that are the best possible people for you, you start to change the odds. You start to change the way that people respond to what you're doing. Why this is so important is because I did not go out there into the world and learn how to become a marketer. I'm not a marketer, but I am genius in marketing because I know how to write love letters to my exact person that doesn't need to be sold to. So I've really come to realize there's an art of selling. There's an art of marketing. There's an art of advertising. There's an art form to knowing exactly who you're speaking to and speaking to them in their own language where you guys understand each other, where there is no resistance, no force, no pushing, no coaxing, and it's just the most pleasurable experience. And so I've been building a body of work over the last few years that really represents the proof of concept of what I'm sharing for you right now. Without having to push with ads of like, click here quick before the bonus disappears, and this is what you're doing so wrong, and if you don't click here now, your chance is over, and here's where you're screwing up, and here's where things are failing for you. Like, instead of having to do that, which feels against my heart to do, not that it's wrong, but it would feel wrong for me, I've been able to do something like have a beautiful graphic and write one post from my spirit and go live once and have almost 7,000 people register for my masterclass. Whereas I've seen people hustle and hustle and hustle and need to write 17 pieces of content and try to convince all the people why they should get on the thing. And so there's an art form to this. And obviously I can't give you everything on a free masterclass, and there's a part of me that's like, how do I get the most value possible in 5 days? But the thing I really want you to get from this is two things. First of all, there is a way, there is many ways for you to market, to advertise, and to sell. And for sure, inside of those ways, you will find something that you are in love with. Like, it is for sure that there is a way for you to absolutely love selling, marketing, advertising. Like, there's so many different ways. And so when you see a way that you have resistance to, not because you're afraid, remember, fear resistance is not the same as no resistance. If you actually find the ways where you might be scared, like, oh, but what if I'm not good at this? And you get better at that, you will do exponentially better than the things someone's telling you. If you don't learn how to do this, you're going to fail. And you're like, but I don't. It's so out of alignment for me. I can't even imagine myself doing this. It feels so wrong. I would never buy from this. If it were happening to me, I'd never do it. Like, if a person cold messages me on Facebook, I will not buy. So why would I cold message a person? But there are people who, when they get cold messaged, they're like, yes. In which case that might be in alignment to do the cold messaging. And it might work for them because it'll come from an aligned place. You know, the super pressure sales, the minute someone tries to push me to buy something, I'm like, nope, you're not getting me. So how could I possibly get behind doing that to somebody? But for other people, they're like, oh, it gets me every time. I see it, I get all flustered and I buy it. Or I see it, I get all motivated and I buy it. I want to do it in my business. Well, that's your prerogative. But if you don't like it, it's tough to do it. Like for me, I'm not strong on emails. I don't read even my own emails. Emails is not the way to connect with me. But I'll if I see someone's energy on a live stream, I might watch it. So I know for me, I don't mind connecting with people on email, but it can't be my main strategy because I don't even open my own emails. So the people that connect with me the most probably won't be the people who needed me to have a super strong email marketing campaign. You find your people. They connect with you. You speak a similar language. This has been really super powerful for me. And the second thing that I want this masterclass to do is to start opening your mind based on how I'm speaking and saying, like, is this my mentor? Is this my person? Because I've created programs to really dive deep into all this information with you. Like I have my Impact Academy program that's all about social media and how I use social media to build an online presence that's constantly calling in the people with no resistance to what I do. Constantly people going, what's that? Who's she? How come I never heard about her? Oh my gosh, I love this. What is this? Oh, I love this. Follow, watch, open-minded to buy. How do I create that consistent flow of new relationships? This is my Impact Academy program. There's a brand new program coming out called The Art of Sales. And The Art of Sales is where we really talk about the art behind selling without feeling like you're pushing people, like enjoying the process of speaking to a person that you know wants to buy what you're selling. Like the feeling of selling a car in the middle of a parking lot where no one wants to hear about the car versus selling at the auto show. You know, the difference between trying to sell an iPhone to somebody on Facebook Marketplace being like, please buy my phone, versus how easy it is for people at Apple to just talk to people about the iPhone and they don't even need to say anything. People already came to buy it. Setting yourself up where people are coming to shop at your store and the inner game of that. How to really create the feeling of being in sales without the sticky, grudgy feeling. How to actually enjoy it, but for it to be for the right person. And on top of that, there is a brand new thing that's coming out, and I'm very excited about this. And it's a program that's going to be a part of the Alpha Femme experience that is going to also be part of the Art of Sales. So anyone who's here who has already bought the Art of Sales, you're going to be getting this big program as a bonus. It came through for me and I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is really important. And this is a program that's about how to do all this as the brand. So some people come and take my programs in sales. They're the sales division of a company, or people buy this for their salespeople so that their salespeople can watch my sales trainings. That happens a lot. I have people who want to train their employees in their sales divisions. They watch Art of Sales, for example, or they get their digital marketers to come and learn with Impact Academy. But there is a very unique thing about being kind of what I'm doing, which is you're the CEO, you're the founder of the company, you're the face of the company, you're the one that does the main sales, the main copy, like you're all of it. And creating a brand like that that's doing what Alpha Femme has done, I'm really excited about talking to people about that because it's what I did. And so you're going to find in life that you can help a lot of people. You can have a lot of great clients. But there's something so magical about the perfect client. The one that's like, this is my dream. Like, what you've managed to do is exactly what I'm working on. What you're doing is what I want. Can you teach me? Like, there is something so spot on about that. And this program is going to speak exactly to this. Branding is going to be coming out soon. I'm very excited about this one, and hopefully it's done in time for me to talk to you about it before the end of the masterclass. This will be also in the Alpha Femme experience. So the Alpha Femme experience includes Impact Academy. The Alpha Femme experience also includes the Art of Sales. And the Alpha Femme experience also includes this program that I'm talking to you about. So there's so many amazing things coming in the Alpha Femme brand. But the reason I talk to you about it this way is because there's not much of a point of you learning how to do all these things if you're actually in total resistance to whether or not you believe it's going to work. And this is the part I feel we don't talk enough about. So even when I began doing this work, I could tell if I was too scared or if I was too pushing back on it, no matter what, even if I had the opportunity to go sit with the smartest person in the world, I would sit with them and I'd just be nervous and stressed and not be listening because I'd be like, I don't know if I even want to do this. I don't know if I can. I don't know. So there's not much of a point doing this work unless the way that you're feeling is, I'm the one for this. And it doesn't matter how much money you're making. Like, very often people ask me, like, how much money should I be making in order to join this? Or how much money should I be making? And it's like, that's not really what I'm looking for. My clients, it's not how much money they're making. It's about their courage and their power and their inner knowing that they're supposed to be there. I'll give you an example. I did a mastermind a few months ago. It was for 8 women. And I had a vision that this was going to be a very high-end container. It was an $88,000 mastermind. I had one woman who had just started having her first $100,000 months that year. And I had a woman who had $1 billion exit from her company in the same mastermind with only 8 people in it. It's not like the range is close. $100,000 a month and $1 billion exit is like night and day. And there's only 8 people in there, but it was a masterpiece. Some people I had a woman in there that had sold $40,000 worth of coaching and mentorship in her business. I had another woman in there that was at her first $1 million a year or building towards her first $1 million a year, and she crossed it in December. Like, there was a range, but they meshed together so well because where one was still so lit up and inspired, the other one had started to dwindle in her inspiration. Where the other one questioned whether it was possible, the other one knew with a definiteness. The fact is, when we're together and we have similar codes, we have similar ways of being, we support each other, we help each other. I love it when a woman comes in and she's making less money than everybody else because I'm like, to everyone that's making all this money, look at this woman and check out the courage. The one who's making the least amount of money is the most courageous woman in the room, whereas the one who's making the most money is the one with the most evidence in the room. Like, we learn from all the people. Everyone has something to bring to the table. So the rooms I prefer are not the ones where it's like everyone here is making $100,000 and everyone here is making $200,000. The rooms I want to build are the ones who are like everyone here believes that their business has just gotten started. Their life is just getting started. Everyone here is actually going towards something very big. They don't yet know exactly how they're going to do it. They don't yet know exactly what it's going to look like, but they know it's happening and there's nothing that could stop them. Not one person in the whole world could tell them that this isn't going to work for them and they'd believe it. They are so certain. But if they could be surrounded by the right people and they could have the kind of conversations that stimulates ideas, top level ideas, if they could actually get inspired to take action now instead of in 2 days or 3 days from now, and they could start doing 2 or 3 times more aligned to action. if they actually enjoyed their life more, smiled, laughed, spoke to people who got them, and actually felt like they were loving the experience of being in business and doing what they've got to do instead of the stress and the pressure that sometimes comes with building a big business, that they would do so much more, that they would enjoy their journey. And so it's not so much about the cerebral logic, like once you get to this point, you should be learning this, because I actually have seen people collapse time and do things at warp speed in a way that makes no sense. The one woman that joined the mastermind, that it was her first $100,000 year, she had joined House of Oats, which was called AFE Next at that point. She was making $20,000 a month, and her dream was to make $50,000 a month. Eventually, she went from 20,000 to 70 to 80,000 to 100,000 to 100. Like, her business just blew up. And then she wanted to do 8, but like, she's on an upward tangent, and she's brave and she's bold and she's willing to put herself in rooms that don't make sense. But not because she thinks the room is going to change her, but because she knows she's going to change, so she wants to be in the room. It's such a fine line, but there is a difference in this. And I'm able to speak with so much conviction because I know how many women are actually there in the world. How many women, and it would blow if I would have known that this was possible just a decade ago. There are people making $10,000 a month, like water makes rain, like clouds make rain, like water makes rain, like clouds make rain. There are people making $20,000 a month, $240,000 a year, just easily, and they're questioning whether they're good enough. There are people making more money than brain surgeons in their digital businesses, wondering what's wrong with them that they haven't yet hit $100,000 a month, which is like $1 million plus a year. The world has started to change so much. The opportunities are changing. What people are looking for is growth. And it's so important that we don't just go on chasing money, building businesses that it's just like, I want to make more money, I want to make more money, I want to make more money. So as we've got more diversity in the room, we remember what growth feels like, what being blown away by ourselves feels like, what gratitude feels like, what being blown away by what we're capable of feels like, so that this matters. Because money won't give you the meaning. You've got to build the money and the meaning separately. Money just makes it that you can say yes to the trip, and yes to the new outfit, and yes to the photo shoot, and yes to the new employees, and yes to big Christmases, and yes to whatever you want at dinner, and yes, money gives you an easier yes frequency, but it doesn't actually change the experience of what happens when you say yes. That's the inner workings. And so that's why in the Alpha Femme brand, I'm just as excited about all these programs as I am about like identity work and Femme Fatale and the God Zone, where we really reconnect with our power and our gratitude and our woman magic. Like in Femme Fatale right now, it's the most beautiful program. It's my favorite program that I have, is the one that's all about feminine energetics and the actual reclamation of our inner strength and power and emotional intelligence. I care about all of that. I don't think it's going to be enough if we actually want to make the moves that we want to make on earth right now. If we actually want the businesses that we want right now, I don't think it'll be enough to just learn how to, get a higher conversion rate. Because the thing is, the higher conversion rate comes with all kinds of stuff. It comes with people who watch that aren't aligned buyers that have a lot to say. It comes with satisfied and dissatisfied clients. It comes with needing more staff. It comes with the right employees and the wrong employees. It comes with all kinds of stuff that people are not prepared to feel. I've seen so many women almost quit their big dreams because something shaky happens and they're like, I don't know if I can handle this. We need to be able to handle it like bosses. Not just power through, don't think about it. Not just calling everybody that doesn't like our stuff a hater and getting bitter and angry. Not fighting against everyone who doesn't get it. Like to actually stay in the same power that built the business. To have compassion for every person. Doesn't matter how people behave, it's their life. That you stay in alignment with your heart and your spirit and your soul, and that you keep being who you were at your best, at your kindest, at your most beautiful, while you build a multi-million-dollar business. Like that's the real magic is that the best of you doesn't get altered by the tough stuff, and you just get stronger and wiser and richer and happier, but you've got to work on all of it. So why the marketing piece is so important, and I hope you can see this by example as I'm speaking to you here, is that technically what I'm doing in this masterclass is totally against what traditional marketing would have me do. They would say you've got to pick one topic. You've got to speak to the absolute drama or the pain that the people are going through until they cannot handle their pain anymore. And then you've got to tell them that you have the secret thing that if they don't buy it, they're going to fail. And you've got to also tell them that everyone else in the world is doing it wrong, and then give them, a 24-hour discount and then make it all disappear and it's never possible again to buy it, and then do that, And all of that to me just wasn't the only way. Like, I'm happy to play with some of these things for fun if it's fun to have a fun discount code here and there. Like, to build my whole business on pressure just doesn't really work for me. So you can actually join my membership at any time. You can join the Alpha Femme experience at any time during the year. There is no like open and closing. It really is always open. And the House of Oat also is always open. It's just its application. And that one is going up in price just because we've been refining it. We did a new branding for it. It went from being AFE Next to House of Oat. There's all these new things being added, more calls, more things. Like, everything's kind of been revamped. And so it got bigger, and that's why the price is changing. It's changing at the beginning of February, not tomorrow. You know what I mean? So there's space for people to make decisions in my business, and it gives me a chance to think and to create and to make beautiful things. And so I want to be clear. I am not saying this to say that all the people who do that are wrong. I'm telling you this to say it's not true that it's the only way, because I'm doing basically the opposite of that. And my business is perfect. People jump into House of Oat in the middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday. They don't wait for something. They jump in when they're ready on their own timing. People join AFE on a random Monday in the middle of the month March. Like, it doesn't actually matter. There is no deadline. It's not like, well, I do one launch a year and everything depends on that. It's not like I'm running thousands of dollars in ad spend, and if I do something and it doesn't work out, it's the end of the world. I'm spending 5 days with you here on my iPhone, sitting on my couch, talking to you. And I know that the people that are supposed to be in my world are going to be in my world, and the people who are just meant to learn 5-day masterclass will have gotten that, and the people who weren't meant to watch it won't even get to know it existed. And then I'll move on with my people, and I'll keep coaching my people, and we'll keep doing what we do. And the businesses that work with me will keep working with me, and we'll keep doing what we're doing. Like, there's nothing that depends, that could fail or succeed on one conversation, on one launch, on one masterclass, on one sales method, like, there is none of that. And I think the biggest reason for this is that in the marketing and the advertising, it's occurring all the time in alignment with the brand. So when you have a marketing campaign, for example, that has a start date and an end date, it kind of lives on its own. You spend ads for it, you organize for it, you push it. You can tell at the end whether it succeeded or it failed. And I think that for a lot of entrepreneurs, this is where a lot of the stress and a lot of the pressure comes in. Is because when every move that you make has a fine line of success and failure, you always either wonder how you're going to succeed again in your next move, or fear that next time will also be a failure. And we get in the mindset of, whether I win or not, there's still something to fear on my next move. Like, if I learn to market with a success or failure mindset, if I fail, I'm devastated. I've lost all of this time, all this money, all these resources, and I'm scared of doing it again. And if I succeed, I'm excited, I'm happy, but I'm also immediately worried I'm not going to do the same thing again next time. With my angle to marketing and advertising, it's more of a constant flow. There's always an energy of marketing and advertising. Alpha Femme is always marketing and advertising. Every single post I ever put out there for me feels like something you might see for the first time. Every live stream I put out there, I know someone might watch for the first time. New people are constantly finding Alpha Femme because of the brand. And so all of this is what's coming in my Impact Academy program, my Art of Sales program, the new program that's coming, that we'll be launching here shortly. Like, all of this for me is how Alpha Femme and my greatest clients, like, it's mind blowing when you actually understand how easy this is, that anyone would go against their spirit to do something that doesn't suit them on the internet for money. It's like, I could never for myself be happy in a business where I have to do things I hate. There's just no way. And there's a difference between doing things that require me to grow when I'm scared. Like, what if I'm not good enough? I was scared for a long time to get on the live streams. I was nervous. I was afraid I'd mess up. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to, be consistent, or I'd forget what I was saying, or that I wouldn't nail it. I had all those fears, but I never had gosh, this is so not right, and I don't want to do it, and I can't believe I'm making myself do this. Like, I never had that feeling. And so we want to do things we're in love with, because then it becomes a lot easier to have an integrated life, right? So when you're thinking about your marketing and your advertising, how a lot of companies do it is they forget that every interaction they have with a client is advertising. They forget that every interaction they have with a client is marketing. And so what I'm seeing a lot of is people who are not yet clear that they are a brand. And remember, I'm speaking to people who want to build $1 million brand here. So if you are like, this is way too intense for me and I'm making money and I didn't need to do this, remember, I'm speaking to people who want to build $1 million brand. So take it the way it lands for you. But I see people who haven't yet fully committed that they are a business. They haven't fully owned it. And they're on social media, but they haven't committed to a brand. And the way that they post, if I were to find their social media today and look at it, I would not know that they have a business, because they didn't take into consideration that every post is marketing and every post is advertising. So when I go on their page and I see something about, they're mad that they were out of milk at the grocery store and they feel like their local grocery store should do better, but their brand is about cosmetics, for example, I have no connection whatsoever, not to the entrepreneur, not to the founder, not to the CEO, not to the vision, not to the brand, not to the direction of the company. Like, I get absolutely no sense of direction. I model something that's very interesting, because I have actually involved my entire life in my brand. So I believe that you can have a lifestyle brand and a personal brand that becomes a multi-million-dollar brand. You will see on my page Valentine's Day. You will see on my page my fiance and I. You will see date nights or weekends away. You will see that. But in the context of my brand, I want my clients to have a business where they can take time away without the whole thing crumbling. I want them to not have to post about selling every day, but to understand that everything they post is marketing and advertising. And to create a brand that's like a holistic approach to their entire life. That everything does fit, but there's an angle, and figuring out what that angle is. Where you can be fully expressed, your entire life can show up as much as you want, or the parts of your life that you want to show get to show up as you like. But what's the angle so that the way that you're posting is actually bringing new buyers into your company, even when you're not actively selling? Sometimes people will fall in the Alpha Femme brand. They'll be so in love. I went with Kevin. We went to see the wolves. We stayed a night at Omega Park, and we stayed in this beautiful cabin, and there's wild wolves outside our windows. But the post is all about taking time away and romance and connection. And it talks about our Manifest program. And so it's our real life. We actually went there. I get to share my real life, but there's also a marketing aspect to everything that I'm doing. I'm the embodiment of my life. If you have a nutrition business, a jewelry business, a cosmetic business, if whatever it is that you have in your life, real estate, there's always a way for the brand identity of who you are to constantly be attracting new people, because people are not just drawn to you because of what you offer. They're also drawn to you because of who you are. I have clients that have found me because they liked my sense of humor on a funny reel. I have clients that were drawn to me because they love my aesthetic, my photography aesthetic. I have clients that were drawn to me because they loved the poetry and the way that I write. I have clients that were drawn to me because they loved my presence on a live stream and the way that I talk, and it all landed for them. There are people who found me in a masterclass, but I don't need to be doing live streams every single day. I don't need to be writing poetry every single day. I don't need to be taking pictures that are perfect every single day. All of what I'm doing one day at a time is actually constantly calling in this ideal buyer, which is my buyer. And so we tend to see marketing as a thing that is like an external force. When we're thinking in the masculine, being a marketer is that your job is to sell. The one job is to sell. In the approach that I have, my one job is not to sell. My one job is to create extraordinary transformation for my clients. However, if I don't sell, who am I going to do that for? So it's a secondary job, but it's as important, but it's not the main focus of my brand. The main focus of my brand is for me to deliver extraordinary transformation. If you have created a product line, let's say you have beautiful candles, well, your job is to, the main purpose of the company is to get those candles in the homes of the people who are a match for those candles, who are meant to have them in their homes. Your second job is to sell them. It's just as important. But if I'm looking at your candle business and all I see is marketing, selling tactics, I'll wonder what really the company is about. Is it about the candles or is it about selling? And so I'm seeing a lot of people getting confused, especially with online marketing, of what their core reason for being is. If you're a coach and a mentor and you sell sales, then yes, of course. But you would want to make sure that your program on selling is spectacular and that you're not just banking on, I'm good at sales because people buy my sales or people buy my stuff. Like that's my claim to fame. Because selling is not the main thing. Yes, it can give proof of concept because when a lot of people buy, it means that you're nailing the way you express yourself, you're nailing the way you explain what you do, you're attracting the right buyer, you're doing certain things right, but ultimately, delivery first, selling second. And in this mentality, I have become so much more aligned in my business model. And something that's so beautiful about Alpha Femme and a lot of the clients that work with me is that we get extraordinary amounts of testimonials. Like the testimonials are, and it's not just testimonials, it's referrals. People saying, you need to work with this woman or you need to listen to this. You need to buy this. And not just for my coaching business. This is also for my product business. I will often have people who are buying stuff because they saw someone else have my crystal water bottle on the internet and they want to buy it, or their friend has my notebook and they want it, or their sister bought my planner and now they want one. Like my product division of my company is also extremely successful because people want the product based on recommendations. Oh my gosh, it's the best. This crystal water bottle is the best. This thermos is the best. This candle is the best. The smell, the jar you can plant in it after. It's amazing. Like people talk about my products. They talk about my coaching. They talk about what I'm doing. In the same way, people talk about a rock star concert with the kind of people they know would probably want to go to the concert. People asked everyone they knew. If you were going to a Taylor Swift concert, you would ask anyone you believe could possibly be a Swiftie, are you going to one of the concerts? And they say, what? When is the concert? Oh, it's this. You didn't know? No, I didn't know. Oh my gosh, I've got to go get myself tickets. And you might speak to a person and say, are you going to a Taylor Swift concert? And they go, are you insane? I would never go to a Taylor Swift concert. But it happens because people talk. People say, I'm going. And say, oh, you're going? I've been thinking of going. Maybe I should go. I want to go. It's actually when what you're offering is really good and you find a way to utilize all your points of contact as marketing and advertising points of contact. Your business starts to have an organic magic. And I really want to empower you with what I'm going to say next. You do not need this to work tomorrow. You don't need this to work this fast. You need to be willing to do it until it works. If you're willing to do it until it works, it's going to work. From this point forward, anytime you ever listen to another person on Instagram, another person on the internet, from this point forward, anytime you ever listen to another coach or mentor or someone who broke through, pay attention to how they tell you their story. That at the beginning they didn't have anything, that they didn't really know how it would work, but they put the work in. Some will tell you for years it didn't break through. Some will tell you, I tried, I failed, my first program was a flop, I tried to get this many people and it didn't work, I was feeling so discouraged, I thought of quitting, I was living in my parents' basement, I couldn't afford my rent, I couldn't afford my food. It's the same kind of stories, no matter what. Entrepreneurs have the same stories. And then there's a few of them that will say, and I failed and I failed and I failed until I found the one secret sauce, and now you've got to buy this one secret sauce. But that's not what happened. They didn't fail until they found the one thing that would work. They failed until they succeeded. And then they got extraordinary conviction in the thing that they succeeded in, and they were able to speak about it with all of their heart because they knew it worked. And that's what's going to happen for you. No matter where you're at, if you're stuck at $100,000 months, you will feel the same kind of frustration as people feel stuck at 10K months. It doesn't go away. That desire for growth, it doesn't just stop, because we're meant to live. We're meant to grow. Everything on earth grows until it dies. Shouldn't as much be said for a dream, for a business, for your life, for your financial situation? Like, does anybody ever really want to say, well, that was it. The best of my life, I've done it. I've hit the peak, and nothing better than what I've lived will ever happen to me again. It's happened. Nobody wants to say that. Everyone wants to feel like the best is yet to come. So you might have something that helps you get to $100,000 a year, and you might feel like a success. And then you're going to keep doing that and keep doing that until something else breaks through, and all of a sudden you become a millionaire, and you'll say, this is the real thing. This is the actual thing. This is what I should have been doing all along. Not because what you were doing before wasn't good, but because now you figured out how to make $1 million at what you're doing, and you're like, oh my gosh, the conviction now is through the roof. You know, you might have a method with your clients that works and goes well, but then all of a sudden you tweak it, and all of a sudden your client results skyrocket, and everybody's freaking out, and testimonials are coming in every day, nonstop. Everybody's freaking out. And you'll want to say, I didn't even know what I was doing before, but I know what I'm doing now, and you need to learn this now, because you're going to have the conviction, not because all of a sudden the right thing fell in your lap, but because you became the one that would not stop until you succeeded, so then you did. Doesn't matter how they spin it, doesn't matter how they market it. The real truth is they went until they succeeded. And then once they succeeded, they had conviction with what they succeeded in, and that's the thing they sell today. That is what's going to happen for you. You will have small wins along the way, big wins along the way, huge wins along the way. And your conviction will come from your greatest moves, and those moves will be created as you go. No one has ever succeeded thinking about it until they had the best idea. They had to figure it out and go and work at it. And so marketing is such a beautiful thing, because it's, if you marketing the way that I've discovered it for myself, for me, is such a beautiful way, because I don't see it like I could succeed or fail. So often I have people come into my world and literally find me one day and are in my top container the next day. I've had people take a free masterclass like this and buy my $175,000 mastermind on the back end of it, just like this. Like, that has happened in my life. Just like, I was watching your free masterclass and I would like to know how to apply for your Unity mastermind. At the time, it was $175,000 a year. Just like that, because it's like, I already know I'm looking for a mentor, and you're it, girl. Like, just like that. But then I also have people who have resistance, who join my masterclasses and who are like, I can't invest any money. There's no way. I can't even imagine it. And then one day they end up in We Are Alpha Femme. And they do that for a little bit in the membership at $222 a month. And they know that they could quit anytime. There's no fear. So they manage their resistance, and they learn and they train. And eventually they're like, you know what? I want to do the AFE. And then they join the AFE, and then they start making crazy money. And then they're like, Melanie, what the heck happened to me? Because the resistance, they massage the resistance. But because my marketing is always there, and I don't feel success and failure in marketing, I feel evolution and growth over a lifetime. I post so anyone any day can find me, and I post so anyone any day can buy from me. And it doesn't even matter if I don't post every day, because there's always something recent on my page. And people don't just find me because I'm running ads or pushing or forcing people to find me. People are finding me because people won't shut up about me. If they got what they needed, they'll talk about it. If they got something worthwhile, they'll talk about it, and they'll do the same thing for your business. Whatever it is that you offer, whether you're a relationship coach or you sell cosmetics or you sell jewelry, if someone was changed for the better by what you offered, they will talk about what you offered. And the more people are changed for the better by what you offered, the more people will come into your world. It's been such a wild experience for me, because I went from being the person who no one knew, like the invisible coach, the underdog, feeling like people were choosing me and it was a miracle, like choosing me instead of some of the most successful people. And it felt like, how come they're choosing me instead of choosing these established names? Like, why are they choosing me when they could work with somebody else that's already made millions, or somebody else that's already done this? It was like, it was my energy. That's going to happen for you. It doesn't matter at what stage of the game you are. Some people will prefer your cosmetic line that you just launched to the MAC product line, because there's something about you, and there's something about the product, and there's something about your conviction, and there's something about your story, and there's something about the way you are and the way you market that just feels right. We're not actually competing. We're developing new businesses, and there's people all the time that are looking for something special, something unique, something that feels right, and it's our businesses. I went from being the underdog, and that was my badge of honor for the longest time, and now I'm actually one of the people that I thought I'd never hold a candle to. Like, my brand has created something that I never thought it would, and that gets to happen as well. You get to grow and grow and grow and grow until at a point you're everything, you're beyond what you thought it could be. But you've got to just keep learning what you can be doing next. And it's such a different mentality than to say, you've got to learn how to market so you know how to market forever. Versus, you've got to be constantly looking for best ways to develop your company so that you're having fun, so that you're at the head of the game, so that you're constantly evolving, constantly learning, constantly developing your strategies, constantly developing your mind, constantly coming up with new ways to have fun. Like, that's my approach to mentorship. I don't believe you take one program because you suck now, and if you take it, you'll be better. I think you develop yourself and you choose things where you're like, I want to learn that. I want to hear more about that. I want to talk at this level. I want to develop myself here. It's more an evolution and growth over a lifetime thing, not because there's something wrong with us, but because every little bit that we expand actually makes our businesses better. There are different ways that you can write. You know, in my Art of Sales program and in the new program that's coming, we're going to be talking about, you know, how to actually write and get your point across, how to speak and get your point across, how to communicate with your ideal buyer, how to figure out exactly who that is and how to speak to them, and how to find the courage to be unapologetic about what you're saying. Like, we're going to figure out how to do all those things. But that's not the end all and be all of your business. I've had people join programs of mine just because they loved the branding and they've been watching me for long enough that they know I'm the mentor for them, and they were just waiting for me to come out with the topic that they were waiting for me to talk about. And they did not need me to sell it hard, and they did not need me to tell them all the things. There are different kinds of buyers. Now in House of Oat, we have a totally other level of conversation. There's a program in there that's called The Buyer. The Buyer is worth $7,777 on its own, but it's included in the House of Oat. And that is where we talk about like the most elevated, like the buyers, like the people that have the money and they have zero resistance and they have the pick. They could pick anybody. And how do you tailor your work to the buyer? And that's all in House of Oat. So depending on where you are in your business, your level of resistance You figure out what the best place is for you. Because ultimately, this is another piece I wish I had been told early on, is that people don't just buy because what we're selling is good. They buy because there's a certain influence from the thing that's being sold. So, for example, if I don't think I'm able to do anything on my own, and you sell to me something that is absolute support, you will manage to influence my buying decision because what you're selling to me is actually exactly what I need. So you have influence over me because you're selling me something that offers me exactly what I need, that without it, I can't move. Like, that's the perfect influential thing. But when you're speaking to a super self-led person that knows, that can do what they've got to do, they just want to know what they should be doing, and you start selling them, I'm going to hold your hand, and I'm going to make sure you do it, then you have no influence, because they're like, I don't need you to tell me how to do it. You think I need hand holding? As a matter of fact, the influence is under. It's like, you're not advanced enough for me if you think I need to be handheld. You don't understand me as a buyer. There's so many beautiful ways to understand our buyers, to understand, like, how do I actually, who am I meant to influence in a beautiful way? Like, who am I the one that's like, because of you, I was able to move, versus because of you, I raised my standards, or I raised my pricing, or I was able to believe I could do this or that. Like, we influence different things in people depending on what we offer, depending on what we do, depending on what we sell, depending on our price, depending on how we've built our companies, depending on what the purpose of the company is, the story of the company, the product, the level of quality. Like, everything has an angle. And sometimes we're just going at it with the wrong angle. And so the messaging is off. The way you're speaking is like, you're speaking to a person that has the power to do everything, and you're trying to tell them you're going to help them. It's like, that's not the right wording. It's not the right words. It's not the right energy. It's not the right messaging. It's not the right, it's not it. That's not what's going to really make them feel like, oh, you get me. And ultimately, our greatest marketing is the marketing where your people read it and go, oh, you get me. 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 That's if you can be around a person that you're constantly feeling that, like, gosh, you're just speaking right to me. You totally get me. This is exactly it for me. This is it. No matter what it is, whether you're selling skincare and you're explaining exactly what's going on with a person's skin, whether you're selling nutrition and you're able to tell them exactly what they're going through with their cravings, or they're losing weight one day and the next day they're gaining it back plus a pound, plus a 0.1 pound. They're doing something and you can tell them exactly what's going on. They're like, oh my gosh, like, you get me. You this is it. This is exactly what's happening for me. Like, the more they read what you're saying, they listen to you speak, and they're like, you get me, you get it, this is it, this is it, yep. That's all marketing and advertising. And sometimes your marketing and advertising is so solid, you don't even need to sell. Because there is such a thing as a buyer. A buyer is a person who is out there to buy. And I want to help you get buyers, not just followers. Not even just ideal clients, ideal buyers. It will cut your workload in half. It will increase your feeling of conviction and confidence in what you're doing. It will increase the amount of people that come in versus the amount of people who buy. Like, that ratio is going to become a lot more pleasant. The questioning in your mind is going to be a lot less chaotic. You'll have a vision, and you'll know that this changes. And so as your business evolves, you'll be able to tweak it and change it, because my buyer has changed over the years. When I first started doing this and I was a life coach and I charged $100 an hour to be a life coach, I had a different buyer than who I am today. When someone is buying, the Alpha Femme experience at $1,444 a month or $14,444 a year, that buyer is different than my $100 per call client. This client is in the business of building a business. They want to be there. They want to develop themselves. They want to become more eloquent, a stronger leader, capable of holding a big business. They want to be trained before it's go time. They want to be in the zone while they're building. They care about their business now. They don't want to wait for people to pay them and then they'll get better. They want to make sure that they're the top that they can be right now. They're in the game, they're in the zone, they love learning. That's not necessarily the person I had when I first started. The person I had when I first started was like, I'm willing to listen, I'm willing to change, I have hope, I have faith, and I definitely have this $100. You know, it's like two completely different buyers. So tomorrow we're going to go deeper into selling. Hopefully I'm able to talk to you about the upcoming program that's coming. But for today, if you're like, gosh, I can really tell this is the right thing for me and I want to do the Alpha Femme experience, or I think I might even want to do House of Oat. Alpha Femme experience is something that you can just purchase. You don't need an application. It's your journey. We basically, you get all the programs that I offer at Alpha Femme experience, plus every 2 weeks we have AFE Us Time, where I come in and I coach and I mentor, and it's actually really cool. I get to talk with you and, you know, whatever questions you've got, whether it's your life, your relationship, your courage, your business, your whatever it is, like we get to chat. You know, every 2 weeks I do a live call in there that's usually about an hour and a half, sometimes longer. And then on top of that, you get all the programs, all the master classes, and it includes the We Are Alpha Femme membership. So all the things that are in the membership are also included. So if you're like, you know what, I think I'm ready. I want to jump into that now. I want to do it. We're in the middle of Femme Fatale, which is a masterpiece. You'd get immediate access to that if you jumped in now. And if you're like, oh, Melanie, I'm not there yet. There's resistance. Just the thought of spending anything like that, it's okay. It means your business isn't generating that kind of money yet, or you can't yet see how your business will generate that amount of money yet. It's normal that there's resistance. It's okay. So if that's where it is, then jump into the We Are Alpha Femme membership. Right away in there, there's so much value. I recommend jumping into the broadcast and the charisma. Those two are like so magnificent in there. And then you'll find out about new stuff that's coming within the next few days. That's $222 a month, and you can cancel anytime. And half of your 100 or your 222, so 111, goes into a bank as a credit. So eventually, if you want to buy a bigger program, you've got credits to do so. So that's a really cool option. Or you can pay in full for a year at 2,222. But I would hold off on doing that if you think you might do this, because something really epic is going to be happening very soon when it's ready. Hopefully by tomorrow. But anyway, something's going to be fun with the paid in full. But if you know you probably would never pay in full anyway, $222 per month, you go as you want and you can cancel anytime. There's already like $10,000 worth of value in there of programs you get to tap into right away, plus everything that's coming. It's amazing. If you're listening to this and you're like, I think I'm a House of Oat person. Like, I've got success in my business. I know what I'm doing. I just want to scale. Like, I know what I'm doing, but I want to talk at a higher level. I want to be coached by you, Melanie. I want to work with you. Then it's House of Oat, and I'm going to be doing a, like an open house, the salon Oat. It's going to be on Monday, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. And if you can't make it live, I'll email you the replay, and I'll email this to you with the replay, this information as well. I'll give you information for We're Alpha Femme, AFE, and also I'll give you an opportunity to come and join me on Monday for the House of Oat meeting, where you can ask me questions. I'll talk to you about how it's held and all that. Since that one's application only, you do need to apply. If you're like, I don't even need to go to the open house, I want to do it now, you can just DM me and ask me for the application. My team will send it to you and you can fill that out, and I'll read over the applications this weekend. So we have a break now. Our last call is tomorrow. Tomorrow is our day 5 of this, and I've got a really beautiful thing planned for us. But it's like later. So today's 10 a.m. and tomorrow I think it's 5 or something like that. It's like later in the afternoon. Is it 5, Kevin? Yeah. Oh yeah. So 5 p.m. So you have some space and time in between. And I want to see if you can actually use some of the things that you've learned in this masterclass between now and then. Because one thing about mentorship that's really important is you've got to use it. So many people listen to this like it's a TV show and they're like, oh, yes, very brilliant. Such a good idea. Thank you. Standing ovation. But then they don't do anything with it. And that's not going to help you. The whole goal of mentorship is you've got to go do something with it. So I would suggest that you look at your business. Look at your website if you have one, your social media, Facebook, Instagram, and just ask yourself, if Melanie were to come onto my page, would she be able to tell I have a business? If my ideal client were to follow my page based on my recent posts, would they understand what I do? Would the last few posts help them get closer to buying from me or not? And not even because you're pushing a sale or you're selling, just like would they get the concept that this is a store? And are you nailing it with your ideal buyer, or is there anything in what you've been writing recently that's you trying to teach people the concept of what you're offering instead of speaking to the people who already know what that would be and that would just be looking for the next company to buy from, and that would be you? Just start looking at this, because if I can give you these nuggets in a free masterclass over 4 days, imagine what the future holds. I have so much incredible transformational knowledge that really has created incredible lives and businesses and relationships. Like I'm a well of nonstop knowledge, and I'm so excited to share it with anyone who wants it, because when you want it, it does things for your life. It really does change it. So if it feels like this was a good module, you think, okay, there are definitely people that need to listen to this. People are not marketing at all because they think they don't know how to market. They're blocked, they're resistant to the trending marketing, the pushy stuff, so they're not marketing at all. People feel scared of selling. They don't want to look bad, so they're not selling at all. They're so focused on marketing because they think that's what it is, that they're repelling people, and you can tell, you're like, oh no, this is not, they're losing the essence of what made them so good at what they did because they think they need to become marketing machines. You can tell it would be so helpful for them to see this masterclass, to hear this masterclass, just to contemplate at a higher level. If it feels like I nailed it and someone deserves to hear this, please share. I'm going to give you a few moments to share. When you do, make sure you write in the comment section that you have shared it, because we're going to be doing a draw at the end of this module right now. And as we draw, one person is going to manifest $5,555 in Alpha Femme dollars that you'll be able to use towards any program. So you can use it to buy Impact Academy. You can use it to buy The Art of Sales or the new program that's coming. You could put it towards AFE. You could put it towards the We Are Alpha Femme membership. You could put it towards House of Vote. Like anything I've talked about that you're like, oh, I want, like you'll be able to put this credit towards this. And so if you're sharing, make sure you let us know in the comment section so that I can make sure my team puts you in the draw. Sandra Lee says, Femme Fatale is soul changing. Thank you for this. I did it twice. That's awesome. Melanie, you're an amazing goddess mentor. Everything you said, you nailed it. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate this so much. So tomorrow again, we're going to be going a little deeper into selling, and we're going to go into leadership. And the reason we're going to go into leadership is because one of the things that creates the difference between making some money, having some impact, and making big money and having big impact is the level of leadership you allow yourself to have. I took on that I was a leader in my industry, that I was a leader in the world. I took on that identity, and it changed a lot for me. I was willing to take on the responsibility. I was willing to take on the ownership. Like I owned my role. And the world responded in an extraordinary way. And so I want to also help you tomorrow fully own. If you're ready to go to the next level, like I'm ready to be a millionaire, I'm ready to make $1 million a month. I'm ready to build a company that one day I'm celebrating having made $100 million. Like whatever, however big you want your mind to be able to vision. I want you to be able to step into that and own that. Not wobbly, like, yeah, I would want to, but I feel silly or I feel bad when I talk about it. Not like that's impossible for people like me. Not like, oh, that's like, I'm building this. And I have the capacity to lead myself and lead my team and lead my clients to the glory, to the win. Like I've got this. And so tomorrow is going to be a really powerful module about selling and leadership. So I hope you'll be able to make it live, but if not, there will also be the replay. If you caught this live stream by accident and you're not registered, make sure you ask the team, hello, can I have the link to register so that you get all the replays of the past days? I've been putting everything on YouTube also so that you can watch with YouTube. If your English isn't your first language, you want to watch with subtitles, it's much better on YouTube. So register, and then you'll get all the days, and we email them. We email the replays directly to your inbox, which is super helpful. Okay, Kevin, are we getting close? Are we?
Close. I can be.
As close as you can be. How many minutes do you need?
Well, if you say we're done sharing now, it'll be...
I think we're good.
Okay.
So a couple of minutes and then you're good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We're just putting all the people in the draw. Now again, if you're watching the replay of this, you can still share, because tomorrow, when we start and we kick off our live, we are kicking off our live stream with more Alpha Bucks. We've got to have a draw at the beginning and a draw at the end tomorrow, which is also going to be a lot of fun. So make sure that you're there. Now also know all of the shares that you've put are in the draw. So the more that you have shared, the more that you have your name in the draw. You can share on Facebook, you can share on Instagram. My team sends the currently watching graphics every day, so you can share those. You can share the live stream. There's so many ways to get your name in the draw. I love being able to spoil you. It's so much fun to be able to pull these names out of the bucket. It's really awesome. Just make sure that you're tagging me and that you're telling me in the comment section when you're sharing, so that we're able to get your name in the draw. Oh, Kevin, we're seeing drums. The drums have appeared. These live streams have been incredible, landed deeply. I'm so happy. Okay, Kevin's coming. Oh, 2 seconds. So while Kevin's taking his last second, I want to share something with you. When you find the balance of all the things we've talked about here, when you understand what your brand is, and you understand who your buyer is, and you understand that branding, marketing, and advertising kind of work hand in hand, that there's a way to be speaking constantly out into social media where buyers are just walking past your store and coming into your store, and that it doesn't always have to be these huge efforts that you're putting out, that there could be this consistency with your genius that you're putting out in there, and people are coming in and talking about your store, and there's nonstop new people coming in. Even if one person a day just found your company every day, one person, and the brand of the shop made them stop in their tracks, and the branding and the advertising and the marketing made them want to go in, and the way that the store resonated with who they are as a buyer was so exquisite that they walked out with something every day. One new person found from you, bought from you every day, just one person. You would have an entirely different business by this time next year. It would be not even recognizable. And eventually, as you get more buyers, you're going to get more conviction in your product also, more testimonials, more feedback. You'll adapt it. So then you'll be able to speak about it even more. You'll refine it even more. More people will talk about it. 2, 3 people a day will walk into your store. Then eventually you'll realize maybe your prices need to go up. You'll change your pricing. You'll change your buyer. You'll up-level your storefront. The business will gain more and more traction. This is why I'm saying it's evolution and growth over a lifetime, not quick and let's get 100 million people through your front door. Let's enjoy the feeling of building $1 billion. Oh, billion, I like it. $1 billion brand. Let's enjoy the feeling of building $1 million brand. Not just wish for it like winning the lottery. Build it with conviction and enjoyment and celebration. The best years of my life have been the years building this brand. The celebrations, the tears of joy, the testimonials, the client work, the work we've done. I would not have wanted it to just fall in my lap. I'm so glad it happened this way. We can speed things up. We can have record months, and those are all part of the fun, but going 100 miles an hour just because it gives us a feeling of being good enough, it's not it. And my buyer knows that. Okay, Kevin's here. We've got the drum roll.
Here we go.
Drum roll. This is for a $5,555 prize of Alpha Bucks. You have the name.
The name is...
Yeah?
Livvy Hutchinson.
Livvy Hutchinson. Livvy. I love it. Livvy Hutchinson, you are the winner of $5,555 in Alpha Bucks. Congratulations. You can use this towards any masterclass or program, anything I've talked about here, like Impact Academy or the Art of Sales or the new program that's coming, or AFE or House of Oat or whatever you're feeling called to. So congratulations. Thank you so much. For all of you, as you're sharing, please know your names are continuously going into the draw. Tomorrow we will kick off with another draw, and then we'll end with a big one. I'm very excited about it. So I want to thank you so much for your time. I'm having the time of my life with you. This really is so much fun. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your participation. And I look forward to the final module with you tomorrow. Have a beautiful Saturday.